So there are the old Q3s. Still some remnants from my crash. And then we go to the new Q3 Pluses that I just put on. And we are going to show you how to do a tire change swap out on my brother's RSV4 RF, and we just got him the same set of tires because he's got what, 9,000 miles on them things?
Just under 9,000.
Just under 9,000, and you can see the wear. I mean, it's got a track day on the sides for sure. We haven't done really any aggressive riding. Normally, I don't know if you saw his TL tires, but there's no chicken strips on it. So we're gonna put the new tires on and go do some canyon riding tomorrow. So first thing, obviously, is you gotta take your tire off. And I think most people know how to take the tire off, but the next thing we're gonna do is show you how to bust a bead on your tire using that thing and a special tool that probably most everybody has. Okay, so tools you're going to need. Obviously you're going to need your tire, and then you're going to need one of those jacks, right? You're going to need a piece of wood that is a 2x3, I think, just a small piece, maybe 10 inches. And then this, okay, that little small crowbar, it absolutely works perfectly. You're gonna need a little bottle of water, a strap, and when I did my tires right here, I used 2 of these crowbars instead of these Bead Pros because I didn't have one of those. I didn't buy them, but now we've got them, and I'm gonna put some tape on that. Oh, and I've also got some rim protectors that are over there that you put on the edge of the bead, and then you use those. But that's what you need. And now I'm going to show you what the process is. So first step is you get some pretty, depending on if you don't want to crack your or scratch your rims, you get some pretty heavy towels. And you just put the towels on the lift portion of the jack, and then all you do is you set your tire on that right there. And what we're looking for is just for the lift portion of the jack to lift up on the tire. Now, see what we've done here. So we've taken the strap and we've strapped it underneath the jack, the frame of the jack, and then we've brought it around here and just kind of looped it on the handle of the jack, and then we put that small piece of wood and we leveraged it down in there, and all we're doing is applying pressure. We're gonna hold, the strap itself is gonna hold this bar in place while we lift up the tire with the jack. Take 2, we grab the longer piece of wood, provides for better angle, and just go slow, and I can see it sitting on the bead and it's about to come off right now, and that's it, all done. Pretty simple. So just real quick, you're gonna need about a foot long piece of wood because it gives it a better angle. So we've flipped the tire over now. We've already broke the bead on the other side. And again, we adjusted the piece of wood so we have a longer piece of wood. And you can see the angle and how this particular angle for this crowbar works absolutely perfect. And so we're just gonna again apply a little bit of pressure, and it'll pop the bead, and it'll be pretty fantastic. We'll move on to the next step. So he's just gonna hold that strap there and just go really slow. There's no reason to go be in any hurry. And he could already see it coming apart. And we just want to go a little bit further. See, there it goes, bead broke. So the next thing you do is, and if you can do this in a hot day, it warms the tire up a little bit, or go ride and warm the tire up, because the tires that are warm are a little bit more bendable. But what we're going to do now is just thoroughly wet the bead with some soap and water, and then we're going to use these tools along with some rim protectors, and we're going to bring the inside of the tire over this side of the rim, and then we're going to do the same with the other side of the tire. God, these are so nice. Whatever. That's the only reason why he's faster. Okay, so once you get it partially started, sometimes if you got it wet enough, you can pull it. Else, just kind of leave that in there and pull the tool out. And then you grab your other rim protector. That's one side. So generally, once you get that much of it going, you got it. So, and then you lift the tire up, and this is kind of the tricky part, is you gotta wet the inside, the rim, so you can get the other part done. Place a little pressure right there, and take this one and start slowly working it around. So, food for thought, it's probably a little bit easier to get it from the other side. But that's it. It's only my second tire ever removed. Well, my third tire, counting my front tire, only my second back tire. And it's pretty simple. Now the next step is to line everything up. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna put the tire on the scale that we got, or the balancer, and see how balanced it is. And then we're going to put the tire on, and all tires have a mark on them that shows the light spot, and you want to make sure that the light spot of the tire, grab the tires. So for example, on this bike, or this tire, the light spot is here, right? So this is the light spot of the tire, so you match this up with your valve stem, okay? So we're gonna get the rear tire and take a look at it and see if this has has a mark.
There it is.
And here's the mark right here. So we know that this is the light portion of the tire, and we're gonna match it up when we go to put it on to the valve stem like that, okay? But first we're gonna do some things just to see how balanced the rim is. So what we did was just to make sure that when we're balancing the tire, and my brother's got this cool little
name is here.
wheel balancer from Mark Parnes. It's really nice. It's a bearing, axle bearing setup. It's really nice. And so what we do is just make sure that wherever you're balancing the tires, that when they sit on, and all we have it is sitting on 2 jack stands. So when it's sitting on there, just make sure that it's balanced. And then, you know, give your tire a spin. We're just going to check this rim just to see how level it, or how balanced the rim itself is before we put the tire on. But you certainly want to make sure that you're balancing all tires on an apparatus that is level. So my guy wants to be in on this. He just wants to work with us. So what we found is we just let it go, and it ended up balancing itself right back to where they said the heaviest part will be, which is the valve stem. So we can confirm that the factory apparently knows what they're talking about. So now the next thing we're going to do is get the new tire on and go through the same process and balance it out. So here's a little tip: if you don't have a heat gun and it's not hot outside, you can throw a little hair dryer in there and circulate warm air and get the tires up to a warm temperature, so it makes it easier to put on the tire, or put on the rim. So right before you're about to get ready to put the rim on the tire, or the tire on the rim, you want to look for the directional arrow of the tire, so you know that you're putting on the tire correctly. Quick tip, so you know which way your rims go on the what did you say this was called?
Who won the Civil War? Asia.
The valve stem. I forget little things easily, but the valve stem always points to the right side of bikes. So my valve stems are right there, always point to the right side. Same goes on the front, and that's kind of a good thing to know, because when you take the front tire off, there's not a lot of delineation between the right side and the left side. So knowing which way the valve stem points is a good little tip. So if you're going from regular valve stems to putting on fancy dancy valve stems like that, then make sure you point them to the right sides. So we know that this is the direction that the tire needs to go, so we're about to mount it onto the rim. So as you can see, the wheel is gently moving back and forth. That balancing axle is really nice. The bearings on there really allow the wheel to flow freely. So we're putting on some really light weights to get her to balance out perfectly. So, and then once she's balanced, we just put her back on the, Dean's gonna clean his chain, I think, and then put the tire back on, the rear tire, and then we'll get to the front tire.